Hey YouTube, RicoKnows here. Going to talk to you guys about the NFL draft. You guys know the deal. I go over every single team in the NFL draft. I review all their draft picks. I do a lot of pre-draft evaluations and podcasts here on YouTube. Just go to the live tab on the homepage. But I'm also going back and doing a review of all the picks. Now I'm going alphabetical by city, so you need to be patient. I'm doing one a day, and today we're on the Buffalo Bills. If you go to the YouTube channel, RicoKnows homepage, and you click on the playlist tab, you will see the 2025 NFL Draft Reviews and Assessments, and that's the players here. I'll post this on Twitter, post it on Patreon. It's already, an abbreviated version is posted on TikTok. So let's go ahead and talk about the NFL Draft for the Buffalo Bills. To surmise it, to talk about it in its totality, I will just tell you that I think the Buffalo Bills missed horrifically on this draft. There's really no solution to it that I have. They were just in a bad position to try to address two positions of need. And it feels like they reached in certain positions, or they reached at certain times and drafted players that probably shouldn't have gone off the board at that specific time. Okay, that's just my assessment. I would call it fool's gold, if you will. So going into the draft, they knew they had to address the cornerback position or their secondary, and they knew they had to address their defensive line. They have 6 draft picks that address those two position groups. 6. That's a significant amount. And they went out there and kind of drafted everybody. Now, in the first round, they take Maxwell Harrison. Listen to me. I evaluated Kentucky's defense before last season. We're talking this time last year. I was getting ready for futures bets, win-loss totals bets for the MVPs. If you didn't know, I got a bunch of MVPs on Patreon, on YouTube. You just hit join. You go to Patreon. You pay the $25 a month, and I give you all the futures bet information about what teams are going to win and how many games they're going to win for next year. And when I got to Kentucky's defense, I did an evaluation of their defense. I looked at those players individually. I'm talking about transfers from Georgia, starting linebackers. I'm talking about defensive linemen, linebackers, everybody, secondary players, everybody. When I looked at Kentucky's defense, I evaluated them and said, this is the second best defense in America, talent-wise. Like if we had tryouts tomorrow, these Kentucky players are better than the players on other teams. I'm not joking. I'm talking about, we're going to talk about Walker here in a second, but I'm talking about guys like Maxwell Harrison. When you watch them on tape, they're phenomenal. Now, I have no control over their schedule, their defense, or excuse me, their offense, coaching decisions, injuries, a bunch of other things. I have no control over any of that. I can just tell you that individually, when you evaluate these players, they're pretty good. So now you see a team drafting in the end of the first round. They need to find an answer in the secondary. And they know they're not getting Travis Hunter. They know they're not getting Jahdae Barron. So the next best corner, they're looking for a guy who ran blazing fast at the combine, and he's a man-cover corner. Now, if you see my rankings and you watch my podcast before the draft, kind of like some of these other teams, like the Ravens and the Falcons and the Cardinals, who all watch my draft content, shout out to them. But if you watched it, you would have seen that I told you Azarae Thomas from Florida State is my number one corner, man corner. Now, I had Will Johnson ahead of him, Travis Hunter ahead of him. Those are zone corners. But when it comes to man, I put Azarae Thomas up here. I believe in him wholeheartedly. Florida State had a terrible season. Won 2 games. They're getting stomped out everywhere. Guess who didn't give up a touchdown? Thomas. Comes out early. I know his brother worked hard and made it for the Cowboys as an undrafted free agent. I know the families had to overcome a ton of turmoil. I like players that come from the gutter. I like players that earn their keep. Thomas is him. And he didn't go off the board until the 3rd round. And he's very comparable in talent and skill. Now, he didn't run a 40. He went to the combine, did all the drills, but didn't run a 40. And then you see a guy like Harrison who knows he runs a good 40. So he's going to show up and run it anywhere. And there's stories telling you that the Bills were telling him, tank this 40. Don't run it fast. Don't let anybody else see how fast you are. We don't need you getting drafted by anyone else. No one else was going to draft a corner. And you got to understand that when you start looking at the draft, corners didn't go off the board until the 3rd round. 9 corners went off the board in the 3rd round. Nobody was really reaching for corners in the 2nd round. You didn't have to do this. So now you go and take Harrison and you give him a 5th-year option. You're going to have to pay this guy money, even if he works out or doesn't work out. It's just one of these situations where he's not a slam dunk to start. Some things I don't like about Maxwell Harrison, and I'm just keeping it real. He's under 6 feet tall. What are we doing? That's a slot corner? You don't need a slot. You don't need a nickel. You got good players on the Bills themselves right now playing nickel. So now you put him to the outside because he's fast as hell. Got it. But you could have did that with Longer being from Rutgers in the 7th round. You could have did that a whole different way. It just feels like a reach for me. I don't care how fast he was or anything like that. I'm just telling you, it feels like a reach for me. Congratulations, he got him. Now, the 9th pick in the 2nd round, you go take TJ Sanders. Another reach for me. And I say that, and I have all the respect for TJ Sanders. He's a younger player. He's 6'4", 297. When you saw transfers come in from Pitt, I'm talking about Jules and these boys, like these bigger defensive tackles were showing up. They were trying to address their defensive line. You got 5-star freshmen making the starting lineup. You got Kennard coming over from Georgia Tech. Hemingway's already there, Tonka, right, with all the batted down passes the year before. You got a great defensive line with a bunch of players, and TJ Sanders held his own. And he proved his worth. But how good is TJ Sanders? I don't think he's a starter. He's obviously not better than Ed Oliver. So now he gives you depth, which you want and you need in the NFL, fine. But why are we drafting depth in the 2nd round? I'll tell you why. And it's because in the NFL, defensive tackles are getting drafted at an insane rate right now. Like a ridiculous rate they're getting drafted. It's almost like the quarterback position. You're looking at 5 defensive tackles went in the 1st round. So you need a defensive tackle, and the first time that you can take one is your 1st pick in the 2nd round, 9th overall, but it's already the 6th best guy at that position group. And he's not even a starter at this point. But you're going to take him anyways because it's needs, right? You're drafting for need. You're addressing the position group that you need to address. I don't like the pick. I don't have a solution for you other than combining your 1st and 2nd round picks and moving up and getting a slam dunk defensive tackle or a slam dunk corner like Jahdae Barron, if you can. But I wouldn't trade up for Barron. I wouldn't. I would trade back for Thomas, like I told you. So then we're looking at defensive tackles, and if I go up here to positions and we pull up the defensive tackles that went in the 1st round, who's really good? Walter Nolan at 16. Could you get up to 16 instead of taking TJ Sanders at 9? Would you give up your corner, get up to 16, take Walter Nolan, and now we're cooking with Crisco? And now we're making some moves. This is draft day, right? I'm talking hypothetical here. But there's a huge drop-off in some of these defensive tackles. And like there's the problem defensive tackles you don't want to take at the end of the 2nd round. And then you get quality defensive tackles in the 3rd again. And dare I say, you got some really good ones in the 4th. What's the gap? What's the gap in talent between Ty Robinson? I'm going to tell you, it's not much. It's about 100 players, though. About 100 players from the 9th pick overall in the 2nd round to the 9th pick in the 4th round. Oh, maybe it's 60. My math is crazy. Okay? So I just don't like it where it's at. It's not the end of the world. But people need to understand something. If you're a fan and you're reading about your team, let's say, who's writing about these teams and these draft picks? Who's writing about them? Beat writers, fandom, Twitter, people who are paid to say positive things, people on the take. They're talking to agents and GM. You never heard a GM say anything bad about a single draft pick. It's funny to me. Like they interview coaches at the end of minicamp, and everybody goes, look what coach said. Look what coach said. I've never seen a coach, very rarely have I ever seen a coach say something negative about an undrafted free agent or a draft pick this early in the cycle. You're not going to hear it unless it's from me, bro. Unless I'm giving you the truth. Unless I'm telling you it's a bad draft. And for me, the Bills went into this draft and just kind of, it felt like a panic. Have you guys ever, I don't know if you guys have ever done this. Have you ever tried to freestyle? You ever tried rapping freestyle? And you fall off the beat and it's hard to get back on. You can't ride the beat. It sounds crazy after a while. Even if you had something that rhymed, it just don't come out right. And you're like, yo, that shit sounds like trash. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe that was a bad example. You're running at a good pace on a treadmill. You ever step off and then try to get back on? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get there. I think the Bills got off track at some point, and they just kept drafting players. Players that aren't going to start for them, players that aren't going to make the team. I could see 3 of these draft picks getting cut. So we get to the third round. They have Landon Jackson. I call him Low Jack. Shout out to Landon Jackson, one of my favorite defensive ends. As a matter of fact, I have him ahead of James Pierce Jr. I have him ahead of Mike Green, both first and second round picks, and he goes in the third round. This is the best pick in the draft for the Bills. I think he's a slam dunk player, person. I would invest in that man. And do you know what I'm saying with that? When you draft players, you are saying, I'm investing in this person, and I'm willing to give them resources to represent my organization. Landon Jackson deserves every bit of investment. That is a real football player. A quality young man, great in the locker room, a natural leader. Oh, by the way, he played in the SEC. He faced the best left tackles in America, and he was still productive. He still held his own and looked great in the SEC. It's not like he didn't transfer in hoping to improve his draft stock. That boy was born and bred in the SEC. I really like the third round pick for the Bills. Okay? That's the best pick in this draft. Landon Jackson, shout out to Arkansas. 6'6", 265. You're not reduplicating that anywhere. Real deal for me. Next pick, Deion Walker. Another guy, like I said, when you evaluate the tape on Kentucky, the players look like phenomenal players, or at least they have the potential to be phenomenal players. Deion Walker is 6'7", 330. You want to stop the tush push? You get guys 6'7", 330, put them in your A-gaps, put them at a zero technique, and just sit there and say, all right, let's make this push. Now, he's probably not going to stop that tush push because this dude right here has a problem with pad level. When you're 6'7", you have a problem with pad level. They got to work on it. But you don't get this frame and guys this big walking around the building all day. This is one of those things where you just go, yeah, I'm going to take him, especially in the fourth round. Now, I had him ranked really high because I still believe in my evaluation of Deion Walker. He just needs to live up to the hype and live up to the belief, because when I watch him, there are flashes of greatness that other defensive tackles can't duplicate. And then obviously there's plays where you're like, yo, why is he so lazy? So it is what it is. But that's Deion Walker in the fourth round. Shout out to the Bills. Fifth round, I don't know what we're doing. And I'm not mad at the Jordan Hancock draft pick. I just don't know what it's addressing. Like, I don't think Jordan Hancock's better than a lot of players on the Bills. I'm not sure if he's a starter. I'm not sure what he is. But he's a player, and he's versatile, and he's played everywhere. But it's hard to analyze an Ohio State defensive back. Remember, about 4 picks later, Denzel Burke came off the board. Another Ohio State defensive back. The NFL is looking at the national championship team, and they're not taking these defensive backs as early as the fans would want them to. And that's because when the NFL looks at the individual player, it's hard to tell if he's any good. There's a phenomenal pass rush. NFL draft picks on the defensive line, at linebacker. They're causing all this chaos and everything, and then you got this guy benefiting from the chaos around him. Anybody ever played pickup basketball before? You ever played pickup basketball and you go out there to run fives and you're the best player on the court? When I was younger, it used to happen to me all the time. I would have 4 dudes on my team, and they were trash. And I'd be like, yo, we can't win anything. You can't even see how good I am because my passes don't matter. I'm driving to the bucket. I got to do it on my own. Like, there's nobody here. But my God, if you find it 4 good teammates, we might be running all night. We're not losing. We said, win or stay on the court, we're running. Get your next 5. Get your next 5. We're not losing. I got 4 teammates, and we all pick up the slack. And we all look good. And we're not quite sure who's doing it, but we're all doing it. And that's kind of how it is when I look at Jordan Hancock on tape. I'm not sure if it's the pass rush that's forcing the bad passes, that's allowing him to break on these balls. It's good reads. Maybe it's great coaching in comparison to the other coaches. Maybe they're still in signs and cheating. I know it's not Michigan. I'm just saying, Ohio State would do anything to win the title, right? So it's one of these situations where I look at Jordan Hancock and I go, that's a good football player. Good football player. Is he going to work out? I don't know. Not a bad draft pick. Nah. Now, Jackson Hawes, bad draft pick, bro. Bad draft pick. I don't know the need to do this. You know, Robbie Outs, 2 picks later to the Seahawks, equally as bad. But I understand what happened there, right? They probably wanted Jackson Hawes. I don't know. If you guys don't know, Jackson Hawes played at Yale, transfers to Georgia Tech. This is not a pass-catching tight end. This is an in-line tight end. There's 3 types of tight ends. 3 types of tight ends. There's inline tight end, which is your blocking tight end, Looks like a tackle, usually over 260, 270, usually third string on the team. Then there's something called a move tight end. Other people call that an H-back, but it's a guy you put in motion. He's athletic enough to play the slot, but you put him in motion so he can get some leverage going and some inertia, momentum going for the kick out. He needs to get a running start to kick out that defensive end. Now, I used to be a coach, and we used to put people in position like that, and my H-back or my move tight end, I just put a fullback there. So when I look at Jackson Hawes, he's not a move tight end. He's a full-blown inline on the line of scrimmage. Oh, by the way, the third tight end you're looking for is a hybrid tight end. That's your Kelsey guys. That's your flashy ones. And there was one on the board when they drafted Jackson Hawes. Gavin Bartholomew is somewhere in there, man. He's from Pitt, and the Vikings drafted him a round later. And I'm telling you, when I watch tape, Gavin Bartholomew is the tight end I would have taken. But it's obvious the Bills were looking for a blocking tight end. Now, they have Dalton Kincaid. They don't really need another tight end. But what they have is they have a third-string tight end that they found in the 5th round. And maybe that's when you draft 5th rounders. Like, that's what you draft, third string in the 5th round. Maybe that's what your prerogative is. But not mine. Like, I just don't like the pick at all. Don't. Trash. Then we're going to look at Dorian Strong. I don't even know if he makes the team. Dorian Strong had a great year this last year. But once again, it can be because Saxburg was in full effect. You have Antoine Powell, Randall, APR. On one end, you have Aeneas Peebles over here. You have a bunch of guys causing a hell of a rush. You're playing against substandard quarterbacks for the most part, most weeks. And then you get to benefit from that. Is Dorian Strong a good football player? I think he is. He drops a lot of interceptions, guys. He does. I don't care what they say. There's opportunities for him to get picks, and he don't make them. I don't even know if he makes the team. Hope he does. Hope he does. Hope it's not a waste of a 6th-round pick. But I'm not blown away by it. Speaking of not blown away, Chase Lunt. I wouldn't have done this. I got a bunch of other tackles I would have taken at this point. Let me pull something up here. I want to say at this point, Cameron Williams was still on the board, 100%. Cameron Williams out of Texas, still on the board. And there's a couple others I would have taken ahead of him. But when you look at what they're doing here, they get a guy 6'8", 304 out of UConn. My notes, I have a database on every single offensive lineman. My notes for Chase Lunt, I wrote one word. Soft. And if I tell you a guy's soft, that's it, bro. No Diddy. That dude's soft. We don't want him. Now, the young man is 6'8", 304, and he's probably not soft in real life. People go, oh, you would say that to his face? Yeah, I would, bro. I'm evaluating NFL football players. The dude doesn't reset the line of scrimmage at any point. He's not winning battles. He's just kind of out there. And I don't know what they're going to do with him. Move him to right tackle. They say they're going to move him to guard. He's 6'8". He's not going to play guard, okay? That's dumb. But I don't like the pick. It's just a flyer. It doesn't work for me. And then speaking of not liking the pick, there's Caden Prather. Now, I understand they're looking for receivers that can play in the cold and are bigger. So you go out and get a 6'4" wide receiver. But I watched this young man play at West Virginia. I watched him play at Maryland. The reason they're going to talk about his jump ball acumen is because he's slow as fucking snail snot. Like, he's just not fast. So I'm not impressed with his speed or his ability to get open. None of that stuff. I watched the tape. I'm like, nah. And I know there was other slot receivers that I believe in. Like I talked about this kid Chisholm. He's going to make it, bro. Afton Chisholm III, that dude's going to make it, and everybody ignored me. He didn't get drafted, but if you look at my draft rankings, I'm on this dude right here. Afton Chisholm III at wide receiver. Yes, these are all little guys for the most part. So I understand you wanted to find a big guy to fill that need for you. If Prather's that guy, that's news to me. If Prather's that guy, that's news to me. All in all, very underwhelmed where they were taking players initially. Landon Jackson's a slam dunk. The rest of these guys, hope they work out for you. But fool's gold, man. Fool's gold. Them Kentucky players look great on tape. Till you see them in person, till you really start evaluating the results. And it's just like, damn, bro. I don't know. It's not like they're catfishing you. But you ever been there, bro? Anybody ever been there? I'm telling you guys. I'm gonna leave it alone, but let me tell you something. When I was on TikTok the first time, When I started my TikTok, I only used to do thirst traps. I only used to do workout videos with no shirt on all night. I did dance videos, and I was there just talking to women all night. 15,000 women in my live streams just watching me. I'm sitting there just loving myself, having a good time. And I come across this girl. I'll never forget her. I believe her name was Michelle. Shout out to Michelle. And this was a phenomenally gorgeous girl. Very attractive woman. Very attractive. Always had cleavage showing in her pictures and her videos. And she wrote to me. And she's an Ivy League girl. Graduated from Ivy League. She worked at Hofstra. She worked for the university at Hofstra in New York on Long Island. And she drives a Mercedes. She's just glamorous and beautiful. And I'm like, yo. We're FaceTiming every night. We're talking. Everything's going great. I'm like, this is the girl. We FaceTime for 7 hours one night. And then 7 hours the next night. I'm like, what? She starts buying me clothes. She's changing my whole wardrobe, buying me stuff I would never buy. I shop at Costco, bruh. Costco and Ross. She's buying me stuff I can't pronounce. Okay? Versace. I sound like Kanye. Then she says, I want to meet you. And I'm like, oh, I want to meet you too. Let's do this. She goes, okay, well, I just bought you a plane ticket. She's big time in me. She bought me a plane ticket to fly from Georgia up to New York to meet her. And we're going to do a week in New York. A week. And we got a cruise set for dinner around Manhattan on a boat. And I packed my bags, and I remember I was vlogging it all on TikTok. All my videos were about this girl. And she's in every video. She's in the screen and the little window at the bottom. Look good as hell, bro. Everything about her was good. Gorgeous. I fly in. I'm excited. I'm on the plane. I'm talking to people. Can't wait to see her. She's not catfishing me. We got FaceTime for hours and hours and hours. We've been really talking. I know her son's name and everything. And I go to get my bags at baggage claim, and she says, oh, I'm not there. I'm on the curb. I'm in the Mercedes. I'm in the curb. And I'm like, yo, okay, well, that's cool. Let me get my bags. I'll be right out. So I grab my bags, and I walk out to the curb, and then pulls up this Mercedes. It's like a C230. It's like the crappiest Mercedes you ever seen in your life. She's been flashing the key on the FaceTime. She's been taking selfies on the steering wheel, the Mercedes symbol. It was the ugliest Mercedes I ever saw. I was embarrassed to get in this joint. I'm like, what is this shit? And she gets out the driver's seat, and she walks around back, and she's got to be, I'm 6 feet tall. She's got to be 6'2". She's wearing black heels, leggings, and something else. And I'm like, yo, you know what she looked like? She looked like a busted can of biscuits, bro. She looked like things were popping everywhere that shit shouldn't be popping from. And what it was like the camera was fine and everything, but she never really scanned down and showed me anything else. She just kept it right here. She had surgery, weight loss surgery. So this is a woman who used to weigh like 400 pounds, and now she weighs 200 with a bunch of loose skin. And I was like, yo, this is wild. I'm going to describe her in one word, and the one word is hideous. Hideous, bro. So she had a dinner planned for us at this restaurant called Serendipity. It's one of my favorite movies. So we go down to Manhattan, and we go in there, and we have a restaurant at Serendipity, and I'm embarrassed to be walking with her. We're walking side by side, and I'm just embarrassed. I'm like, yo, what am I doing walking with this lady? She's not pretty. She's very done up and fake. Okay? And it just, very materialistic and everything. I didn't like it. So then she finally drives me, after dinner, she drives me to her apartment. And I get to her apartment, and it's like a $4,000 a month apartment to live in Long Island. And everything in there is just cheap, bro. I'm talking the bed was kind of made out of like brass. Everything just was terrible. And I was like, yo, her mattress was like a box spring mattress, and that was it. I was like, yo, I got California King mat. My mattress is banging. What is this? Like, I don't live like this. This is crazy. Like, the whole thing was a facade. And she's overcompensating for something. And I didn't like it, bro. I didn't like it. I looked at her. I said, oh, I'm going to sleep on the couch. Because we got there late. I said, yo, I'm going to sleep on the couch. And I remember texting my cousin at 3 a.m. and I'm like, bro, I'm supposed to be here a week. I'm not gonna stay. I'm leaving. And he texted me back, no, bro, just stay, smash all week, and then bounce and never talk to her again. I don't want to smash anything. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go change my return flight. No, this ain't happening. This is terrible. So I download Uber. I've never used Uber in my life. I download Uber, and Uber comes back and says it'll be $200 to get back to the airport. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Get me out of here. So I scheduled the Uber at 6 a.m. I wake up 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5. I didn't sleep much. I sleep like 2 hours. I wake up at 5. I brush my teeth. I start getting dressed. She's like, what's going on? I said, hey, listen, it was really nice meeting you, but this ain't it for me. Very disappointed in everything. Blah, 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 blah. Explained it all to her, and I bounced out that joint. And I caught the Uber. I told the Uber driver about it the whole way, and I flew back to Georgia the very next day. I was supposed to be gone for a week. The very next day. This was all on TikTok. This was why my page was growing. People were paying attention to it all and all this stuff. But remember, people were expecting me to be there all week. And now I got to explain to the world why I'm not there all week. And I didn't want to disrespect this girl. So I just said, hey, look, sometimes people don't meet expectations. You might see something on camera or on film, and you might think it's going to be one way. And then when you meet one another, it just doesn't meet expectations. And I'm not going to subject myself to an entire week of awkwardness. That girl eventually disappeared, and we don't see her anymore. She's nowhere online anymore. She's not even on TikTok anymore. I don't know what happened to her. It's not my business. But I want to tell you guys this. That's exactly how the Bills are going to feel when they drafted some of these players. They look good on film. They look good on paper. They look good until you finally meet them and see them in action and deal with the results. And you go, oh, that's ugly. Ooh, that's hideous. That doesn't work for me. That's how the Bills are going to feel with these draft picks. That's how I feel. No one's going to tell you that. I'll be the first one to tell you. And I'll live with the results because I know I'm right. Remember last year, I told you, the 49ers didn't draft any starters in last year's draft. I said the 49ers didn't draft any starters. And then they went on and started 6 of those guys. And everybody started writing me and attacking me, saying, Rico, you're so wrong. They started 6 of them. You said they weren't going to draft any. So I said, no, listen to what I'm saying. 6 of those guys should not be starting. How did the 49ers do last year? How many games did they win? They're starting the wrong players. They have to pay for the terrible mistakes they've made in the front office. And now they have to start players that aren't NFL caliber starting players. And it's impacting their win-loss total. You got to look at this draft. I feel like they found one bona fide starter, and the rest just don't really move me like that. If the Bills do that again you could miss your window. Your window for Super Bowls, your windows for winning, your window for championship is very short. People think it's going to be there. Remember when the Seahawks didn't run at the 1 yard line, they threw that pass and they got picked off? And everybody's like, oh, they'll just be back next year. Never went back. It's over. Your dynasty's over right then and there. That's the NFL and its reality. The Bills cannot waste this opportunity in this moment right now. And I feel like they wasted this draft because they're still at that pinnacle of the NFL. They're still there. They're one of the best teams in the whole league. They shouldn't be drafting like this. You won't be one of the best teams in the league drafting like this. You're there because you're quarterback. You need a great supporting cast, and this isn't it right here. This isn't what you're looking for. I promise. Hope it works out for everybody, and I hope the fans don't get upset because I really don't care. Shout out to that ugly girl, Michelle. Shout out to me, and your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all. Boom. Best analogy ever. Hey, I'm just telling you, bro's a hater. What do I hate? I hate substandard players. I hate terrible draft picks. That is a true statement. I hate a lot of things. I hate criminals. I hate all kinds of stuff like that. For sure. You guys don't understand. I just pull no punches. DJ Khaled did a workout video with Ashton Hall. That just proves Ashton Hall is not running at all. If DJ Khaled's running with you and you're not pulling away from him, that means Ashton Hall is not running at all. I can go live on TikTok tonight in about 3 hours. So that's why I'm live on YouTube right now, because I can't go live on TikTok for about 3 hours. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. DJ Khaled can't run at all. That shit's wild. Why they got these fancy cars driving next to them while they're running? That's crazy. What is this? Is this the kind of stuff you guys do? Is this what y'all do? Let me go to create. Upload a video. Man, that's a true story. Shout out to Michelle. You love the analogy? I'm just letting you guys know, man. I saw a girl and I was talking to her and she was boo-boo the fool. She was terrible. Yeah, I forgot her last name. Awful looking lady. Very done up nice. If you saw pictures of her, you would say I'm crazy. You would say she's gorgeous. If you saw pictures of her, she's the finest girl on TikTok. No, there was dudes professing their love for her all over the place. I mean, there was dudes, and after that, I laughed. I laughed because I would go watch her videos, and dudes would be like, "Yo, I can't wait to meet this girl." And I'm like, "Yes, you can. You can wait. Wait patiently, bro. Wait forever. Don't ever meet this girl. Just keep it 100. Like, it's terrible." 2025 NFL Draft review. Give me a second here. Buffalo Bills. And then we'll go RicoKnows. Going over the Buffalo Bills 2025 NFL Draft picks. Boom. And what are their names? Let's do that. We got to type them all in. A lot to type in. Give me a second here. It's a lot to type, but we'll be okay. Boom, 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 boom. It's weird when I'm on YouTube, I can't have any music, so it's like a lot of silence because of copyright violations and whatnot. Or else I don't get paid. So you just got to keep it with nothing. Right? Give me a second here. Draft picks. Maxwell Harrison. TJ Sanders, Landon Jackson, Low Jack, Deion Walker, Jordan Hancock, Jackson Hawes, Dorian Strong, Chase Lunt, and Caden Bracer. Upload, downloads, give it a nice screenshot, put it in the playlist, say less, give me the pay less. I'm done with this. Oh, I'm disrespectable like, I don't know, undetectable like rootkits, chopping you up like Ruth Chris. Telling people I'm nothing new to this. Ripping out your uterus. Ooh, and the crowd goes mild. And the crowd goes mild. Dashboard content. Boom. Get a shareable link. Go to Twitter. Let these cats know how to Twitter rolls. Blessed to receive an offer from Tuscum University. Thank you to coach and staff for leaving me ready to keep trying to improve myself. Quote, stacking offers. Fans are saying that NBA YoungBoy is Michael Jackson. For this generation, they think he's Michael Jackson. How did this generation have a Michael Jackson? I didn't know about it. Quick, name an NBA YoungBoy song. I love you. I love you too. Are you a NTC or JRTC guy? So I only went to NTC. I'm neither one. I really don't like that kind of stuff. I don't get off on living in miserable conditions. It doesn't make you any better. I don't brag about it or talk about it much. It's just not. It's not all that it's hyped up to be. 2025 NFL Draft Review. Buffalo Bills. And then we'll go and do it again. Do it again, my friend. Do it again, my friend. Let me go to details real quick. Let's go. Boom, boom, boom. Copy, boom, boom. Copy, First round. Cornerback. Second round. was a defensive tackle. T.J. Sanders. 3rd round. Low Jack. Oh, he's a defensive end. Keon Walker, 4th round. Defensive tackle. And then Jordan Hancock was the 5th round, right? It's hard to remember everything. He's a defensive back. Jackson Hawes was also a 5th rounder. He's a tight end. Dorian Strong was a 6th rounder. He's a defensive back. Well, I guess he's a corner, not a defensive back. They'll get mad. If I say defensive back, that implies safety. 7th round? No, 6th round for Chase Lutt. Offensive lineman, Chase Lutt. He's an offensive tackle. And then Prater was 7th round. Wide receiver. All right. We got that down. Let's go over here, copy that again. Go to Patreon. And get him something to talk about. Let's give him something to talk about. Make it free. And I'm going to tell you guys where I'm at on... give me a second here. On my progress for the talent chart. NFL Draft Review. Buffalo Bills. NFL. Shit's free, bro. This is a free video. We don't charge for this. Public. Boom. Do what you do. Publish. All right. So now for the rest of the night, all I have to do is get in as much evaluation done as possible for the Tusculum. Where's Tusculum play? Tusculum football. Yes, that's good. We've got a Division II offer. Let's go. Oh, did I just write Division II? I meant to write. Let me edit this shit. Oh, I can't edit the post. Oh. Can I delete it? Thank you. All right, now, talent chart time. I'm gonna put on, what's that? The fuck does that mean? I don't know what the hell that means. Charge TV remote control, battery less than 10%. How do I charge it? I didn't know I gotta charge this joint. I gotta find a charger. I'll be right back. I guess I'm gonna go look downstairs. Excuse me for a second. That's weird. I never knew I had to do that. I've literally never charged this remote. I don't know where it goes. Why don't you represent players? Oh, I do. I represent all kinds of players. What do you mean, Jordan Holland? What do you mean? I represent players, bruh? Are you saying I don't? Do you know something I don't? Let me see if, what did I unplug? I don't know what I unplugged. My keyboard, that's not good. What is this, the mic? What does this go to? This goes to something. Is this the webcam? No. It's the mic. Okay, we're good with that. Give me a second here. One's going to the NFL. Oh, like an agent. Huh. I talk to agents every day. I've only talked to maybe 3 specific NFL agents over and over and over. I talk to NIL agents. I think most agents want to be in contract negotiations. And most agents are attorneys. I'm leaving a lot of money on the table. Oh, no. I'm not leaving a lot of money on the table. You're describing a lot of work. I have no desire to do. I already work. I live a good life. I don't need any money. I don't need a lot of money. What do you mean, Jordan Holland? What are you talking about, bro? I'm good. If I donate $100, will you do the Browns next and shout me out? Cole, if you pay $100 to the yeah, if you donate $100, I'll do the Cleveland Browns and I'll shout you out. Agents are attorneys. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm making money just fine. Cole, you pay $100? Send a $100 tip on here. You get a shout out, it'll be done. Or you can send it on Cash App. I prefer Cash App because it gets taxed less. But you can get a 3% fee. Venmo's fine. Yeah, you can Venmo whatever it is on the high school film reviews. Just Venmo Kim, bro. Venmo Kim, she'll tell me. And Cole, you will get the Cleveland Browns next. It'll be tomorrow, but they'll be next. I'll write down your name right now if it happens. If you send it to Venmo, I got you. And I will give you a shout out. Shout out to Cole on YouTube. First, let me figure it out. Type your Venmo. Yeah, I don't know my Venmo, bro. My Venmo is Kim-Jones 581. I don't know how to write that in chat. I don't know how to do that while I'm doing the show right now. I don't know what button to press, to be honest. Let me see here. I can start a poll. It doesn't give me any options to write in the chat. Maybe it does. Chat filter, nope. Click on this. Can't do it. Somebody else can write it for you if they want. It's Kim-Jones 581. And it'll ask for your last 4 of her phone number. I think it's 1985, if I remember correctly. All right, let's see what we can do here. I need some audio on while I'm doing this analysis. Yup, that's it right there. That's it. Give me a second here. My remote is charging, but I need to make sure I got some music on of some sort. I can't work without music. Yeah, 1985. I'm pretty sure 1985 is the last 4. I could double check. Give me a second. My bad. It's 1895. Not 1985. 1895 is the last 4. 1895. Hip hop music. Boom. 189 videos. Let's see what we come up with. 1895. There you go. Kim Dash Jones. You pay me $100, bro. You'll get a shout out in a video, and I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, you'll be saving yourself about 4 days. It's about $25 a day for the head start. People on TikTok will be pissed, bro, because they don't know about this. If you do it, they don't know about it. They'll be like, yo, this ain't fair. All right, so looking at the talent chart, I'm going to pull it up now. Talent chart, just for you guys on TikTok to understand, or I'm sorry, on YouTube. I'll show you guys right here. So this is what I create that tells me who's going to win games next year. I evaluate teams by position group, and I have to fill in every single square, offense and defense. So far, offense, I have 26% of it done. 26. And defense, I have 4% of it done. So I need 200% done. So right now I'm sitting at 30% done. And don't mention the payment in the video. Oh, you got it, Cole. You got it, Cole. I won't mention the payment, man, because I want you to get a shout out. I want you to make sure you can share it and not get in trouble. Because I know somebody's going to get mad at you. $225, bro. Oh, he gave more than $225. He's doing it. Oh, that dude gave a real bench press, bro. That dude gave a real bench press. That's what I like. Oh, she got it. You already know, Cole. She got it because the woman just let me know. So, yes, you'll get a Cleveland Browns video first thing tomorrow. My girl just texted me right now and said, hey, I just got a donation with no player name. You know, she's used to players' names. She's like, wait, there's no player information. All it says is, if your friends don't know, Rico knows. That's funny. That's Kim, dude. Kim's like, wait, what's the player? What's his huddle? This guy just sent a huddle with nothing. Thank you for contacting Patreon support. I'm seeing our last correspondence was with you following. Hi there. Thanks for the follow-up. Glad to hear this. If you find any issue. Thanks to patience, Mark. I've not answered questions yet. Oh, let's talk to Mark real quick. Ooh. Sorry, guys. I'm in the middle of an auction right now. I'm doing an auction. Please type reply. Thank you for contacting us. Seeing last correspondence. Hi there. Thanks for the follow-up. Glad to hear this. If you find any issue. I need to hit reply. So I'm paying attention to an auction. It's like an online auction for the next 4 days. And I need to make sure I win it. So I'm in the middle of doing that. It's kind of preoccupying me. I've had to go look at stuff. The news around the quarterback situation in Cleveland is funny. They haven't put pads on yet. And you guys need to stop reading stuff. Put Shador in the video title. You're good, Cole. I'll say it was the best draft pick of all time. I'll say it's the best draft pick of all time. I got you, man. I'll just pretend like I never said he couldn't play football. That's what I'll do. That'll make a lot of people pissed off. If I just start the video and just go, this is the greatest draft of all time. You want my real opinion? I mean, we can have that open conversation right now if we're looking at it from that perspective. If you want a real opinion, I'll make the video, but I'll still talk to you about it, Cole. Looking at the Browns draft, Mason Graham in the first round, fifth overall. I think it's a good pick. There's no there's no way not to congratulate that pick. Like, it's a great pick. Okay. My number one linebacker in the draft was Carson Schwessinger. So this is not a game. Number one linebacker, better than Jalen Walker, better than everybody. Carson Schwessinger was my number one linebacker, and for him to be the first pick in the second round is pretty remarkable. So for me, the first two picks the Browns made are absolute slam dunks on the defensive side of the ball. A plus, A plus, all the way around. Quinshon Judkins, 3 picks later, I think he's a great running back. I really do. I've always been very high on Quinshon Judkins. I love everything about him. I got no problem with Judkins going in the second round. Another great pick. Then they get Harold Fannin Jr., a guy I've been talking about for 2 years, telling everybody he's the best tight end in college football. I love Harold Fannin Jr. Now, when I did my evaluations before the draft, I didn't really go into detail about it because I felt like I evaluated players better than him. But I still thought, for years, I've told everybody about Harold Fannin Jr. Seriously, if you go back. Dylan Gabriel, the greatest quarterback statistically in college football history at this point. One of the most winningest quarterbacks, was the number one quarterback or the starting quarterback on the best team in America all season long. Yes, they lost in the playoffs, but don't get it twisted. He was the best quarterback, best player on the best team in America all season long. I like the Dylan Gabriel pick. Right after that, they go and take Dylan Sampson, my number one running back. Pre-draft, he was my number 3. But he's an amazing running back. What are we doing? I had him ahead of Ashton Genty. I know that sounds crazy, but I like the way he's built. I like pause, right? So for me, up until the Shedeur Sanders pick, it's the greatest draft. Like, they're drafting all my favorite players. The Browns drafted every single player that I evaluated, and then they go and take Shedeur Sanders, who was my number one quarterback on the board. He was my number one quarterback on my pre-draft board. Now, I did that really as like a troll move because I knew people would hate it. And when people wrote to me when I did that, they were like, I'm so shocked, I'm shocked, I'm shocked. And I kind of did it to shock them. I remember I had a talk with Kim about it. And I was like, sweetie, I'm going to put Shedeur Sanders number 1. And she was like, oh, they're going to really hate that. And I'm like, yeah, it'll work. And maybe you do things for clicks. It's content creation, right? But I don't hate the draft. I think they got so many good players. But the way they were drafting, it's like they were getting guys. Everybody's a superstar, right? They started with 2 dudes that are going to be hardworking, blue-nose guys that'll just blue-collar guys that'll be there the whole time. And then they started getting all these flashy players. I think it's a good draft. Probably, it's going to be hard to say there's a better draft in them because they're taking my number 1 defensive tackle, my number 1 linebacker, one of my favorite tight ends. It's a very good draft. And I think it's the type of draft that could impact win totals in the near future. So, yeah, that's how I feel about the Browns draft. I thought it was sensational. And it has nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders. Literally zero to do with Shedeur Sanders. Probably, I don't know if it's the best draft, but it's going to be hard to identify a draft better than that. So that's how I feel about the Browns draft. And that's the truth. There you go. I will make a video, and I'll give you a shout-out, Cole. 100%. Shout-out to you. Yep. And I don't talk about that much. I don't make comments like that loosely or anything. Because my evaluations, accuracy matters. Pretty excited. You've been a diehard Browns fan your whole life? I don't know how old you are, but that sounds like a miserable life. But they don't know what they talk about. You do. Oh. Valid. What the hell happened? Marable. When I lived in, oh yeah, miserable. Yeah. When I lived in Cleveland, I fell in love with the tribe. I enjoyed going to games. You're talking about the Indians? Dude, you're talking about baseball? Fuck, do you listen to classical music? Yes, Dad always took me to the Jake growing up. Had a Kenny Lofton locker in my room. A Kenny Lofton locker in my room. Oh my god. These dude, I'm talking to some nonsense. Who's the best quarterback wide receiver duo of all time? Um, it's Michael Crabtree and what's his face? Graham. Texas Tech. When did he play in college? 2008, 2009. Texas Tech football stats, 2009. Who was it? It wasn't Taylor Potts. That's not who I'm thinking of. Who was the guy? Maybe it was 2008. Previous year, 2008. There you go. Crabtree. Graham Harrell. There it is. Previous year. Graham Harrell. Previous year. Graham Harrell. This is silly. Anybody who says anything but Graham Harrell is silly. Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree. Another one is Graham is Graham Harrell, 1L, 2L's, 2L's, 2R's, 2L's. Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech. Another one is number 2, Chad Pennington and Randy Moss. And then who's the other one? Who was Baker Mayfield's top target? Baker Mayfield's top target or Brady? What's his name's top target? Marshall. Number 3. RicoKnows top 3. Wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver duos of all time. And the honorable mention is going to be whoever the hell Case Keenum was throwing to. Houston football stats. Case Keenum. When was he in college? Stop all this shit. Stats. NCAA football. Houston 2011. 2007, 8, 9, and 11. 2000, really 8, 9, and 11. 2008, 9, and 11. Houston Cougars. Statistics 2008, 9, and 11. It was Case Keenum, James Cleveland. That's not what I'm thinking when I'm talking about Patrick Edwards. I know it's Patrick Edwards. Yeah, it's definitely Patrick Edwards. Case Keenum, Patrick Edwards. Case Keenum got hurt that year. Patrick Edwards still went ham. Case Keenum, Patrick Edwards. Case Keenum and Patrick Edwards. Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree. Who else am I thinking of? Oh, Oklahoma. Football stats. And I'm looking at back at 2017, Baker Mayfield. Who was Baker throwing to? Not Hollywood Brown. Don't tell me Hollywood. It wasn't Hollywood that I'm thinking about. It was Hollywood. Well, Hollywood was also Kyler Murray. Who am I thinking of? Day Westbrook. Day Westbrook. Baker Mayfield and Day Westbrook. No, that's not the one I'm thinking of, though, then. Let's go back to Jason White. Landry Jones and Ryan Broyles. Ooh. Landry Jones and Ryan Broyles. Maybe. Landry Jones and Ryan Broyles. 2010 was Landry Jones and Ryan Broyles again. 29, Landry Jones and Ryan Broyles. Yeah, that's the one. Landry Jones. It's the Broyles. Oh, he wanted only group of fives. Oh, shit. Were they Big 12 then? Oh, man, I'm tripping. They had to be Big 12. Then I'm looking at Donovan Bess and fucking Colt Brennan. I didn't realize he only wanted a group of 5 players. That's on me. Yeah, it was Big 12. Michael Crabtree and the boys. Well, who the hell was throwing to Corey Davis 2013 to 2016? Western Michigan football stats. Who was it? 2013. Zach Terrell? That doesn't sound right. 2014. It was Zach Terrell again. Hey, bro, it was Zach Terrell and Corey Davis. What are we doing? Why are we messing with anything else? Who's Wyoming throwing to? NCAA. Let me do this. No, it's too far back. I can't do it. It's fine. That's my answer. I need to charge this remote. Do what they tell me to do. I'm charging it. Pat was nasty. My bad. Yeah, he was there. Remember, he blew his knee out later. Dede Westbrook. Oh, yeah. I'm with you. I had to find group of 5 guys. I didn't realize it was only limited to group of 5, so I had to go with a guy that most of you guys don't know. But that's me. I'm like an almanac when it comes to shit like that. Nobody beating me, bro. Can't have that convo with me. RG3 just said God is real. Yeah. Let's see what we got. All right, let's get focused. We're looking at Bowling Green quarterback room right now. I pretty much know all the players, so it's easy for me to identify what the ranking's going to be. But it's just like this one's crazy. It's Drew Pine transferring over, graduate transfer, and Drew Pine being the starting quarterback is very problematic for me. But he can't be any worse than Grayson James. So I got to give him a 5, but it's not like he's any good. I'll give him a 4. Drew Pine? He's getting a 4, bro. Who is Buffalo's quarterback? They're going, it's a dual threat. It's the kid from last year, right? He's back. Oh, Taquan Robinson. Gunnar Gray, Jason Wright. Huh. Taquan Roberson, transfer from, where's he from? Taquan. We know Taquan. Jacksonville? Where's he from? Kansas State. All right. Now we got to fucking go watch some tape because I don't think I've ever watched him play. It's the wrong guy. Oh, he's from DePaul Catholic. 6-year transfer quarterback who recently played at Kansas State. So action in 6 games. Wasn't good. Spent the previous 2 seasons at UConn. That's why I know him. 12 touchdowns, yeah. Began his career at Penn State as a reserve quarterback for 3 seasons. 2021 played in 4 games. Yeah. Led Spartans to the state championship. He's athletic. I remember him at UConn 2 years ago. Let me go and watch. Let me go do this. Defense shines in the spring game. Sounds about right. My dog is mad about something. What are you mad about, mamas? Somebody better not be here. We stay strapped. Well, it won't work out for them. Let's figure it out together. You don't want to do that. We got them in range. Enjoying the draft reviews. Talent chart cooking. Yes, it is. Taquan been around the block. Yeah, it's like his 6th or 7th season. It's maybe 6. I don't know how many seasons he's been around. But, sometimes they drop out of my memory. And then once I remember who they are, it all comes rushing back. So I remember him in high school. I think he won 2 state titles. But I got to read something up. And it's hard when I'm reading and not talking to you guys. I apologize. 6-year defensive tackle George Wahlou led the Bulls to 2-hand touch. Who 8 other defensive players recorded sacks. Oh my God, that offensive line sounds like trash. Showed up early and often, getting sacks against 3 quarterbacks. I gotta go watch this spring game. I think our defensive line is improving. Came out this spring with a chip on their shoulder. Coach Dunnan has taken over that room seamlessly and responded well. Prime doing right now. Oh, what did I give them last year on the defensive line? Let me know what I gave them on the defensive line. Buffalo football stats. Dude, they got all their players back. Let's find out who I... Well, you're missing... Red Murdoch's still there, right? Red's still in the joint. Is Red still there? Yes, Red's still there. Deion Crawford's there. Marcus Cooper's there. They didn't get a bunch of transfers. They got some ballers. More senior lad in defense. Oh, boy. Fuqua gone? Marcus Fuqua's gone? Did he not get drafted? It's a guy I believe in wholeheartedly. Victor Snow. Ooh. Baller in the slot. They got some fast receivers. Chance Morrow. Why do I know you, Chance? Where do you transfer from, Chance? Why do I know you? Louisville. That's why I know you. Aljae Henderson's still there. Messiah Birch is my guy. Lamar Sperling's good. They got 3 good running backs. Whew. They got 3 very, very decent running backs at Buffalo. Buffalo's got 3 running backs, and I think I can give them a 5 because my rating system's weird. It all depends on your offensive scheme and then how you're going to be utilized and then how good you are. A 6 means you're all conference in the group of 5. 7 means you're in the Power 5, Power 4, but you're just quality. You're not really all conference. 8 is all conference. 9 are draft picks. 10 are superstars. So it's hard to get a 10 in the group of 5 is what I'll say. It's hard to get an 8 in the group of 5. Let me see here, though. I'm looking at Buffalo Bulls, excuse me. Bulls defenders, and I'm looking for Fuqua's gone. Marcus Cooper's still here. Yes, and he's a beast. 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown. Red Murdoch's still here. He leads everything. Solomon Brown still here. Woo! Man, we might be looking at something. Deion Crawford's still here for sure. What were they last year? This is a team that was 3rd in the MAC. And they're getting rid of C.J. Agbana. They're getting a similar quarterback. Hey. 3rd in the MAC. Was your offensive line terrible? Because everything else looking pretty decent. Victor Snow, leading wide receiver, still there. J.J. Jenkins, not here anymore. Tajay Johnson, not here anymore. But Victor's still there. He's just a bad little dude. Tad Barr. Where's Tad? Tad's not here. Javian Cuff transferred to... I talked to him at the airport. UTGRV. Jake Orlando. Not here anymore. Evan King still there. Nick McMillan, Chance Ball. Sperling, yeah. Upton. They got a good kicker. Upton still around? Nope. Who the fuck is Nick Reed? Nick Reed's the backup kicker, the guy who missed everything. Can't make a 40 or a 50-yarder. He only made a 22-yard. Oh, my God, they got a bad kicker. They got a bad kicker, bro. They got a bad kicker. All right, where is Malin White? There he is, edge rusher. Looked like he put in some work in the rotation. Where is Souza? Tristan Souza. Didn't do much. Been around for a long time. George Wolo can do the thing. Where is Wolo? Wolo's a beast. Did Wolo not play last year? No, he's there. He just didn't do much. Huh. Kobe Stewart's probably going to carry this team. On the edge, Kobe Stewart had 9.5 sacks last year. He's back. Shit. My God. I got to give Buffalo edge rushers a straight 8. Kobe Stewart's going to dominate the MAC. I'll give him a 4 up front on the defensive tackle positions. They get an 8 off the edge. Linebackers, Crawford and Murdoch are still here. Those guys are fucking 8s. Corners. Marcus Cooper's still here. That feels like 5s. And then your safeties. Jonathan Capo, Solomon Brown. Capo, when I watched him on tape, Capo was no, I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not gonna say he's trash. Don't do that. Where is he? He wasn't starting because of Fuqua. We gotta go watch some tape on Capo. See? And that happens. I run into a guy. Oh, no, there's Capo. Yeah, still, I don't think he's good. He's a free safety who doesn't make any plays. This happens. No Marcus Fuqua, Jonathan Capo, and Solomon Brown. Solomon Brown's a beast. They moved him somewhere else. Safety. Oh wow, is that because they wanted McCarthans to get on the field more? I think they're doing something awesome. I think this Buffalo team is sneaky good. I really do. I gotta figure out what I want to do about this. This Buffalo team defense looks good. I might be on a Buffalo bandwagon in the MAC, y'all. I might be on a Buffalo bandwagon in the MAC. Now, the quarterback play, at best, it's going to be a 5. But with Victor Snow there, you got 5s. I don't know anything about, I have to go and really, and sometimes I can't wing it when I'm doing offensive linemen or tight ends. I got to like sit down and go over film on each player. Like it takes me a long time to do offensive lineman groups. 100% takes me forever. All right. It's going to take me like 3 weeks. The California Golden Bears. Who is their quarterback? Devin Brown. Oh no. Oh no. I don't know where to rank Devin Brown as a quarterback. I'm going to give him a 4. I have no clue if Devin Brown can play football. I just don't know. That's a fact. Central Michigan. Chippewas. Who's your quarterback, Chips? Central Michigan. Who are the quarterbacks? Joe Levis. Oh, no. Oh, no. This team might just be bad. I gotta learn. I gotta learn. Buffalo quarterback play looks terrible right now. We can adjust as we go. The most impressive sequence the defense had in the first half was only got 4 stops in a row, 2-minute drill, interception by cornerback Amir Proctor. Return for a touchdown. Nickel defender Jalen McNair stand out in the first half. Sorry guys, I'm just focused right now. Little exception, they haven't given up as many explosive plays. Other side of the defensive line. They got 3 returning starters on the offensive line. Come on, Buffalo. What did I give Buffalo last year? Mac. Buffalo offense. Oof. I shit all over them. And they finished 3rd in the conference. I was way wrong on Buffalo. Give them 3. They're getting at least a 5 this time around. dial it back a little bit. Hmm. Let's see what we can do here. I need some music on this joint. Sorry about that, guys. On trying not to get any copyright violations. Let me see if I can end this live and see if I can go live on TikTok.